everyone, it's me, Tiffany. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you can hear me. I'm at the beach. I need to do some grounding before I do this little discussion. I hope everybody's doing great. I know in the description I had talked about we're going to talk about spiritual abuse, and I first wanted to thank everybody for taking the time to watch this video. I couldn't post it live for some reason. It said I didn't have permission, but there we go. Now I can see you. Hi. So anyways, it's whenever you see this, thank you so much. I appreciate the time that you take to sit here with me. So trigger warning, definitely a trigger warning. I'm going to share my personal experience, what I'm doing to help my family heal from their own experiences with spiritual abuse and how it's impacting specifically my son. And so I first wanted to start by giving you the definition of spiritual abuse. And it's stated in the definition, it says spiritual abuse: when someone uses spiritual or religious beliefs to hurt, scare, or control you. And I like that because it's so open in regards to hurt, scare, and control, because those generate emotions in us. And so spiritual abuse doesn't have to look like a specific physical action. It doesn't have to look like a term being said and then an action being done. It literally is imposed of hurt, scare, and control you. And I just wanted to share about like how spiritual abuse, how actually impactful it is, like how when it's applied to somebody, they don't need like let's quote unquote the victim. Okay, just so I can get this story straight. So when the victim is receiving spiritual abuse penetrates the soul so deep that it doesn't require a long length of time to receive that pain. Like currently my experiences with my child, with my child, we are currently recovering from spiritual abuse, from how spiritual abuse has manifested in his life and the effects of it in his physical body, his mental body, and his heart. For about a year, my son was having spiritual abuse imposed on him by part-time people in his life. And it was done in a way when he was potty training to learn how to control his bowel movements. It was done in a way, because guys, you know me, like I'm spiritually open. My children each have their own higher power. They have their higher power and I have mine. And we openly speak to our higher power in prayer and meditation in our day. And so previously my son had a great communication. He'd openly talk to his higher power, which he really found solace in God and his ancestors. And he would openly speak to his God and ask for help and give praise and gratitude and thanks throughout the day. And it was beautiful to see. And so, but for about a year, my son had experienced intermittent spiritual abuse by part-time people in his life that were using this tactic of saying, I talked to your higher power today, and he said that you didn't go poop, and specifically with the bowel movement. And then my son was trying really hard to go ahead and master this part of our body function. And really, in fact, my son did try, but there are some opportunities there. But the tactic that was being used was that the intermittent person in their life was trying to play the game of telephone with my son's higher power, conveying misinformation, creating a disconnect from my son's higher power. And I just want to share how I've come to know all of this. Was my son has recently been crying, really, really crying at night, and I would go in and hug him, and he would be balled up on his bed, face swollen, and all he would want me to rub his back, and he couldn't explain why he was crying. And finally, a week ago, he came to me and he said he was ready to tell me the truth. And he looked at me with these eyes so full of tears, so swollen, this little face just so full of pain. And he said that he doesn't feel God in his heart anymore. And he doesn't feel God in his heart anymore because he was made to believe that he was a liar and that God didn't believe in him, that his God didn't believe in him, specifically because he didn't know how to go poop. And I share this because my son just got out of the hospital. 4 days in the hospital at Stanford Children's, clearing a bowel blockage after 18 months of in and out of the emergency rooms trying to clear this blockage. And it all stems from spiritual abuse. The physical malady that manifests in my son stems from spiritual abuse. My son walks around thinking he's a liar and that nobody trusts him, not even God. And when my son finally told me that, I was so grateful to my higher power and his, that he found the strength and comfort to know that vulnerability is where you find belonging, because right there I was able to identify the solution. The solution is the man in my life now. The solid man in my life now applies that same tactic of telephone with my son's higher power, but in a way that's constructive and loving and reconnecting and supportive and grateful and forgiving. Not a way that breaks down. And I share this because I really feel that this is the opportunity that we face. My son experienced spiritual abuse intermittently by a part-time person, or by part-time few people, for a year. He has been since removed from interaction with those people for 18 months. And he's now comfortable to tell me that it's because of spiritual abuse that he has a hard time pooping. He has a hard time connecting at school. He has a hard time feeling in his own body. And he doesn't feel connected to God anymore. And I thank him for sharing this with me, because now we have a solution. And guys, I really have I don't know what to call it, because it's really like, it's just something that I've created. By working with my children and healing myself, I've created so many different concepts that I then take out into the world. And I heal my family, I heal myself, and I learned so much, guys. I don't know where it's going with this now, and I just wanted to share my experience with spiritual abuse. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you.